Welcome back to Movie Cut Explained. Today, I'll take you through a thriller drama film from 2019 called Parasite. Spoilers ahead. Be careful and stay alert. In a cramped, semi-basement apartment in Seoul, the Kim family does everything they can to get by. Father Ki-taek, Mother Chung-soo, daughter Ki-young, and son Ki-woo fold pizza boxes for a meager wage while struggling to survive. This drives them to extremes, like holding their phones near the bathroom window to steal Wi-Fi or leaving the windows open for the fumigator's poison to wipe out pests, even if they end up breathing it in. One evening, they receive a visit from Minha, a friend of Ki, who brings them a scholar's stone from his grandfather's collection, meant to symbolize fortune. Fi also offers Ki-woo a job, since Minhyuk will soon be studying abroad. He wants Ki-woo to replace him as tutor for the daughter of a wealthy household. Ki-woo has solid English skills after years in the military and 4 failed attempts at the university exam. Kyun can forge his papers to make him look like a student, since she's skilled with design software, and it's unlikely the employers will check too carefully. The wife is gullible, and Minhyuk's recommendation should be enough. Dressed in his best outfit and armed with the fake document, Ki-woo heads to the Park family's mansion, located in the upscale part of town. After being welcomed by the housekeeper, Guk-moon, he is interviewed by Choi Yeongo, also called Mrs. Park. As expected, she barely glances at the paperwork and trusts Minhyuk's word, but she insists on watching the first lesson to confirm Ki-woo is a proper man. Ki-woo begins teaching the daughter, Dae-hai, who is shy at first and flinches when Ki-woo suddenly grabs her wrist, but since it's only a gesture to reassure her while she struggles with the exercise, she quickly warms up to him. Mrs. Park is pleased with what she sees, so she hires Ki-woo with generous pay. After class, he also meets her son Da-song, who has joined the Scouts and is obsessed with playing Indians. Ki-woo was a scout too, so he shows understanding. And when Mrs. Park shares her son's drawings, Ki-woo gets an idea. He speaks about Da-song's art, as if it were truly profound. And when Mrs. Park mentions she needs a new art teacher, because none have lasted more than a month, Ki-woo recommends his cousin's classmate, Jessica, a skilled art therapist. In truth, he means his sister, who appears the next day pretending to be Jessica, after quickly reading up online about art therapy and psychology. While Mrs. Park interviews her, Ki-woo tutors Dae-fu feels jealous about his friendship with the art teacher. Ki-woo reassures her he isn't interested in Jessica. Then, they share a kiss. Meanwhile, Kyung convinces Mrs. Park to let her handle Do-song's first lesson alone, and by the end, she impresses her by showing how disciplined her son is now. She also points out signs of trauma in Do-song's paintings, referencing an incident from first grade. Persuaded her child requires therapy, Mrs. Park hires Ki-young with excellent wages. Later, she also meets the father Park Dong-ik, who sends his chauffeur Yoon to drive her home. Yoon insists on taking her to her address, but not wanting to reveal her poor neighborhood. She tells him to drop her at the train station because she's meeting someone. On the ride, Ki-young gets an idea and hides her underwear in the car. With the siblings earning well, the Kim family begins eating better while plotting their next step. Soon, Mr. Park finds the panties in the vehicle and assumes Yoon has been sneaking lovers inside, maybe even doing drugs, since no sane man leaves underwear behind. When Kyung finishes class, Mrs. Park asks her opinion of Yoon, so she tells her he tried to drop her off at home instead of the station. Mrs. Park decides they'll quietly dismiss him, and Kyung quickly suggests a trustworthy older driver, her father, Ki-taek. He goes for a test drive with Mr. Park, who is impressed by his refined manners and his sharp memory of city routes. Without GPS, his driving is so smooth that Mr. Park doesn't even spill his drink while turning, so he's hired immediately. The hardest part left is Moo, a sharp and stubborn woman who's been with the house since its previous owners. Ki-woo learns from Do-hai that peaches are banned in the house because Moon-gwang is allergic. So he and Kyung begin sprinkling peach fuzz on her without her noticing. Moon-gwang ends up at the hospital since she doubts it's an allergy, and Ki-taek shows up as part of the plan. He snaps a selfie with her in the background, then shows it to Mrs. Park, while claiming he overheard Moonguang saying she had tuberculosis. Later, when Moonguang coughs from the allergies, Ki-taek stains tissues with ketchup to look like blood. Ashamed of keeping a sick worker, Mrs. Park asks Ki-taek to keep it secret from her husband before firing Moon under a cover story. Mr. Park soon complains about lacking a cook and cleaner, so Ki-taek hands him a card from a supposed prestigious agency, saying he nearly worked for them. This agency is just another Kim's scam. The phone number is a second line. Kyung bought, and when Mrs. Park calls, she pretends to be a secretary, asking for endless paperwork. Eventually, Jung-suk is hired as the new housekeeper. Completing the infiltration, Da-song notices they all share the same smell, but they realize it's not the soap, it's the odor of their shabby apartment. One day, the Parks leave for a camping trip, leaving Jung-suk in charge. As soon as they're gone, the whole Kim family gathers at the mansion. They use the rooms, devour the food, drink the expensive wine, and Ki-woo even steals Do-hai's diary. Dreaming of proposing when she enters university, they fantasize over dinner about marrying into wealth, while a storm rages outside. When suddenly, the doorbell rings. That's Moonguang, claiming she left something in the basement when she was fired. While the rest hide, Jung-suk lets her in, but when she takes too long, Chung-suk follows and discovers her pushing aside a cabinet that reveals a hidden door to an underground bunker. Inside, Moonguang's husband, Ogunase, has secretly lived for years, hiding from loan sharks. Moonguang had helped him settle there after the previous owners moved, sneaking food for him ever since, which explains why Mr. Park thought she ate too much. She now begs Jung-suk to let her husband stay, even offering money. When Jung-suk refuses and threatens to call police, the rest of the Kim family accidentally reveals themselves by slipping on the stairs. Moonguang quickly records them calling each other family names, threatening to expose them unless they cooperate. Upstairs, the Kims are forced to kneel in a corner while Moonguang and Gunasi mock them. Enjoying the house, she insults them as pigs for making a mess, bragging that she and her husband always respected the architecture. When the Parks were away, during her rant, the Kims wrestle them down for the phone. Ki-taek restrains Gunesi. Kyu-young throws peaches at Moonguang to knock her down, and Ki-woo deletes the recording. Just then, the house phone rings. Mrs. Park is returning early due to the storm and wants dinner ready. In a rush, Chung-suk starts cooking. Ki-taek drags Gunasa to the bunker and ties him up. Kwitang hides the trash, and, after stashing unconscious Moonguang with her husband, Ki-woo runs upstairs to return the diary. The Parks arrive at that exact moment, so Ki-woo hides under Do-hai's bed, while Ki-young rolls under the table. Moonguang regains consciousness and tries to escape, but Chung-suk shoves her back down, making her hit her head. Ki-taek finds Gunasai banging his forehead on the light switches, trying to send a Morse code message. Since Da-song is a scout, Gunasai hopes he'll decode it one day, but Ki-taek dismisses the idea before tying him to a pipe. Upstairs, Mrs. Park explains Do-song's birthday trauma. Years ago, sneaking for cake, he saw a ghost from the basement. Actually, Goon. Seizures triggered seizures. This is why he's been in therapy, and why they avoid birthdays at home. Meanwhile, Ki-woo nearly gets caught under the bed by but she only picks up her dog and leaves. When the Park couple heads to their bedroom, Ki-woo and Ki-taek creep out to find Ki-young, but Da-song suddenly comes downstairs, wanting to camp outside. The parents watch him from the couch, forcing the Kims to stay hidden under the table while overhearing complaints about their smell. Then, enduring the couple's intimacy, when they finally fall asleep, the Kims slip out and flee through the pouring rain, only to find their own neighborhood flooded by sewage. Their apartment is underwater, so they salvage what they can and spend the night in a gym shelter. Ki-woo clutches the Scholar's Stone as he sleeps, distraught after hearing his father admit he has no plan. Back in the bunker, Moonguang dies from her head injury, while Gunasai desperately bangs out a Morse plea that only leaves him with a bloody forehead. The next day, Mrs. Park throws a sudden party for Da-song's birthday. The Kims must wear smiles, despite losing their home. Chung-suk cooks. Ki-taek drives the parents on errands while enduring their disgust at his smell. And the siblings pose as distinguished teachers, invited as special guests. During the party, Mr. Park and Ki-taek dress as Indians for Dawsong's play. Meanwhile, Ki-woo takes the scholar's stone to the basement, but Gunesa, freed from his binds, ambushes him. After strangling him with a cord, Gunase smashes his head with the rock and escapes, seizing a kitchen knife on his way to the garden. In a frenzy to avenge Moongwang, he stabs Ki Dosong, collapses into a seizure at the site. While Dahai drags Ki-woo's body for help, Ki-taek rushes to his bleeding daughter as Jung-sook kills Gunese with a barbecue skewer. Mr. Park, ignoring the carnage, demands Ki-taek hand over the car keys to drive his son to the hospital. Ki-taek tosses them, but they land under Gunese's corpse. When Mr. Park picks them up, he covers his nose from the stench, and this final insult drives Ki-taek to stab Mr. Park before fleeing. Weeks later, Ki-woo awakens from brain surgery. The trauma leaves him laughing uncontrollably at everything. His sister's death, his father's disappearance, his arrest and trial for fraud. He is released on probation due to the tragedy being ruled His laughter only ceases when he sees a news report showing the empty house, making the loss real. Neither he nor his mother knows Ki-taek's whereabouts, though detectives shadow them for months. When surveillance finally ends, Ki-woo climbs a mountain to watch the Park's house, now owned by an oblivious German family. There, he notices the lights blinking in Morse. It's his father, hiding in the bunker all this time. Ki-taek has buried Moongwang in the yard and survives by raiding the kitchen at night, sending signals daily in hopes his son would see them. Back in his old apartment with his mother, Ki-woo writes a letter to his father, vowing to earn enough money one day to buy the house and reunite with him.